filmmaker, Francisco.
Fabrizio.
Fabrizio, I'm so sorry, Fabrizio from Chairman Buddha.
Yes.
Yes.
Brilliant documentary. Congratulations,
Thank
welcome to
you.
these.
Thank you.
People won't realise we've met
Thank you.
before, and we've met. It was in Milan, I think, wasn't it? You came
Berlin.
to Berlin.
Berlin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know we've done this before, but if you wouldn't mind just giving us the synopsis for people that may not have seen the interview before, so if you could tell us what this is about, that'd be wonderful.
Sure. Chairman Buddha is about current Chinese worship Mao Zedong
Yeah.
as a Buddha today, 40 years, almost 40 years after his death.
Yeah.
And it's we cannot call this a movement, but it's kind of spring day in today. More and more people, and
It's hard to believe this. This is such an incredible story. I
Yes,
actually
yeah.
thought it was a work of fiction when I came across this. No, genuinely.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's so hard to believe that this goes on.
Yes.
It's Chairman Mao worship, isn't it?
Yes, before I went to China to shooting, and I thought I prepared. I did lots of research, and I saw some video, some pictures, and I read a lot of articles. But when I was in China, I was shocked. It's much more than I
It's an astounding
thought.
story.
Yes,
It's
yes,
an astounding story.
yes.
And again, I know we've touched upon this. You had to be very careful how you filmed this, didn't you?
Yes, of course. This film cannot. We will not able to get a permit from Film Bureau.
Yeah, would have been no chance of that.
Yes,
No chance.
even as a foreign company, there's no way. This is a project for Chinese government or some big film studio or TV station.
So a couple of things. First of all, if you'd have been caught filming, what would have happened?
Several possibilities. One is everything you film
It's
will
taken
take
away and destroyed, yeah.
Yes, then you probably will be questioned again, until they find there's nothing, no big another political group will support me to go to China to film. So this is why at the very beginning, I would like to maintain this film as independent as possible. Yeah.
And you are originally from China or Hong Kong?
China.
So have you ruined your chances of ever going back to your country?
Yes.
You can't go back, can you?
Yeah. We don't know yet, but I kind of very concerned about this. Yes.
And I'm guessing you knew that would be the risk that you were taking.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And that's got to be hard because I know you because I think you live in New York now.
Yes,
don't
I'm living in New York.
you? So you weighed up the possibility, a very strong possibility,
Yes.
that if you made this film,
Might be trouble.
you could possibly, very probably, never go back to your home. There.
Yes. Yes.
And how did you come to terms with that? Because that's quite a big deal, isn't it? If you don't mind me asking, because
No,
you had
don't
to weigh that up, I guess.
Yes, I saw this project. It's an amazing project.
Yeah.
And I doing research and want to see if somebody already made a documentary about that, but I did not see it.
I haven't ever.
All the documentary about Mao Zedong is, is very very political, and or in Chinese government point of view or Western point of view, and there almost something in the middle, and I feel it's my responsibility to do something. When I have chance to talk to Western people about Mao, they all mostly give me one answer. People hate him a lot and all this and that. But then when I tell them, you don't really know Chinese, a lot of Chinese love him very much. So everybody is very surprising. So this is also a reason I would like to record something to show Western audience how at least some part of Chinese they react to Mao Zedong.
Is that still the younger generation as well? Because anyone under 40 years of age is not really going to know. Or is there such a push politically to still revere him?
And it's not. At first I thought only older generation worship him. But when I was in China, I was very surprised. to see even college students, all the young generation will be there worshiping together with other people, and men and women.
It's very surprising because I've never been to China, but I get the impression that the country is open, not entirely open, but to 30, 40 years ago, there's been a massive change, hasn't it? Right?
Yes.
So it's hard to, and of course, financially and economically, it's grown hugely.
Yes.
And the surprise is that people would still cling on to his persona as some kind of demagogue or revered entity.
Yes.
It's quite a surprise.
It is, particularly because during Mao's time, and the religions mostly is not allowed, like the temples and all.
So Buddhism,
yes,
although I don't know if Buddhism is a religion, it's more of a doctrine perhaps, but I suppose it's splitting hairs here, but,
So this is why the people are interviewed in the film, and he said, it's kind of sarcastic. He turned down the temples. Now we put him in the temple.
Yeah.
Yes, right. We kneel down to worship him. Yes, and.
Hard to really believe. It's like I say, when I first came across this, I actually thought it was a work of fiction. No. But then before I knew it was a documentary, I read the synopsis and I thought, it's obviously like a narrative feature. And then of course, I watched it and I realised it was a real thing.
Yes, when I decided to making this film, my parents are against it, and my family, our friends say.
Is this one in the US or in China?
When I in New York,
right? Okay.
I have to go back to China to film that. So my parents kind of, why you do something else?
I'm so sorry. I assumed your parents were still in China, but they're in the US with you.
At the time they are here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, one day my dad he did some tossing and to see it looks like the result will be all right. So he said, okay, if you really want to go back to China to shoot, then you go. They know they cannot stop me. And I also feel it's kind of my destination to do this. And I sense there's such a gap for Western people to understand China, or Chinese culture, or history, So I also would like to see this film is mostly talking about his worshippers, not about Mao's.
Rather than actual Mao, it's about them, isn't it?
There's tons of film talking about politically, about Mao, what he happened during history, during the time in China, but this is a film completely focused on today.
Okay, right.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Fabrizio, how do you compose music for a documentary? And that sounds a bit of an odd question. What I mean is, with a narrative feature, you have a beat of a film, let's say it's a thriller.
Yes.
Can you kind of see where I'm going with this? It's different. It's completely different, isn't it?
Yes, totally different.
I would imagine how you'd normally compose something.
It actually was it was kind of funny how she found me, because she just, was looking for composers, and she Googled composers in New York, and just my name came up. There are thousands of composers, and the fact that I came up, and she just went to my website and listened to my music, and she liked it. And she sent me an email and said, I'm working on a Chinese project about Mao Zedong. Would you be interested to work with me?
Yes, please, you said.
And me, being a Mexican composer, working for a Chinese film, it was like, this is maybe a joke. I wasn't sure if it was real.
I would have gone, yes, please.
Yes. And she was like, no, this is not a joke. I'm serious. Like, would you like to work with us? And I was like, of course. But, it was my first experience, working for a Chinese film. So I had to make research on Chinese instrumentation and really, learn about this culture. And so, it was a challenge, but a good challenge, a good creative challenge.
Sorry to interrupt. But would you, for instance, you've seen the cut of the film, maybe a rough cut. I guess it's a rough cut of the film. Then, because I find this very difficult to understand with composers. I mean, this is the genius of composers. You starting with a blank sheet of paper, blank sheet of music, and you've got to come up with some kind of inspiration.
Yes.
In terms of attaching that to a project
Yes.
which is a documentary.
Yes.
So it's doubly difficult.
Yeah, and reinforce the concept of that
Yeah.
film. So yeah, it's
And at the same time,
it can
give
be
it
tricky.
if you don't mind me saying, perhaps a Chinese sound to it.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm guessing you've got no experience in Chinese music, so you've got a triple. So how do you lie in bed and wait? I don't know. Give us how does it come to you?
Well, she sent me, of course, a rough cut
Yeah.
this film. So I watched the entire film, and then she told me about which scenes she was thinking of music.
Oh, of course, because it's not. Of course,
Yes.
it's not music for everything. There's just certain parts. Isn't it?
Yes. So then I started watching the film and just getting the feel of it, and yeah, I usually start like writing on the piano because that's my main instrument. So I start writing melodies and just like based on what she sent me, I was doing that. And then I start writing the score, and then I start just creating all these arrangements for instruments and trying to create these emotions that would go along with the scenes of the film. So yeah.
I
That's
still
how-
remember when after I write him, he write me back. He said, "Oh, it's I just got a new software about Chinese music."
Yes.
Remember?
And when
Because-
when you first heard a rough cut of his score, because
Yeah.
the score he will send you will not be the complete score, will it? Or it
Yeah.
can't be. It can't be. What was your reaction? Was it like amazing, or this is just sort of, did it work straight away? How did that? What
When
was,
when I got
because you're a musician as well, I think,
Yes,
aren't you?
yes,
Yes.
Okay.
when I got his piece back, I feel relaxed. I saw the hope, and I feel good. It's very good, and I know the rest of the music will be blessed.
And I was afraid because I wasn't sure if she was gonna
Yeah,
like
because
my
if
music.
she's like, if she comes back and says, "Shit, this is not what we're
Yeah,
after," you're in
it's not
trouble.
working, you know.
Yeah.
Just
And before I work with him, and I listen one piece of his music. It was generated by computer. As I was a violinist, and my ears are good to recognize
tuned, aren't they? Yeah, yeah.
yes, the violins are true or fake, and that piece sounds so good.
Were you tempted to write the music yourself?
No, I
No.
never, yeah.
Before were you at any point? Did you ever think, I'm going to do the score? Was that not ever in the question?
I never have any desire to do that because.
I mean, can you compose?
No, I cannot.
Oh, right, so you can play, but not go.
yeah, she had 2 Chinese composers before me.
I had two.
So-
you didn't tell
Yeah,
me.
so
I put 2 Chinese composers aside. You know,
But they weren't what you wanted. Okay, there must be a reason you didn't
So I
choose
felt
them.
that's the
honored that
reason is I want something different, and I think my instinct. I trust my instinct, and I trust him. Though I never met him, and I think we work together. We may have something very unique
Yeah.
because he's not Chinese.
No, because
Yeah.
it gets what I was saying earlier. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for, but I'm feeling it was kind of a Chinese influence there, but with a Western,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
I'm looking for this kind of mixture.
like a fusion. Yeah,
Yes.
fusing these together. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I really got what I want, and maybe I got more than I.
So you wanted John Williams first, but you had to go to.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So what's happened in that period between Berlin and now? Because that's 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Has the things moved on since then? Has anything happened since that time? In that time period?
You mean the film festival?
Not necessarily. Yeah, it could be. But I mean, in terms of, has there been more? I assume more people have seen it, of course. And has there been more reaction to the film?
Let me talk this new version first.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, it's a new cut now.
It's
of
a
course.
new cut,
Yeah.
and it's not just a cut a little bit here or there. It's a lot of change.
No, yeah.
And I inserted 3 new sequences. It's about 16 minutes or 17 minutes new footage.
Yeah.
So I did got a lot of feedback last time, and I think I need to tell people more.
Okay.
And something before I think maybe not too much related with this project. Then later I realized I losing lots of stuff. I need to put them back. This is new information will tell you more about why it's happening.
Because the problem is, not the problem. The thing is that I don't think any filmmaker's entirely ever happy with the film they make.
Yes.
I think any filmmaker would go back and always adjusting because people do.
Yes.
And so what drove you to make this adjustment to it?
I had a British, a BBC producer.
A BBC producer, right? Okay.
BBC producer gave me some suggestion. He asked me if I have this kind of information. Then I said, yes, I do. But at first, I would like the films maintain a certain kind of style, more mysterious style. Then this information might make this kind of little impact towards to original style. But definitely, this information is important. So after I insert these 3 new sections to the film, I sent film to the British BBC producer. He said, "Wow, this is all the questions being answered."
So is there a possibility that the BBC will show your film?
I'm not sure yet, but
That would be the great hope,
working with Channel 30, PBS.
PBS, which is the American equivalent of the BBC, I think, isn't it?
Yes,
Public
we are still
broadcasting.
working on it. And in fact, this film originally was made for TV.
Right. Yeah.
And since the way we filmed, after the film, we finished the filming, then I think, oh, I got much more than I expected. So let's try to put something together to see if we could send a film to film festival. Yes.
Right. Okay. I understand. And I'm guessing by now you've got other projects that you're looking
Yes.
at. Can you talk about those projects now?
Yes, I just finished a feature film.
What, a narrative?
A narrative.
Who's the composer?
Again, me.
And I have to introduce.
Thank God for that.
I introduced him to all these people, and they are amazed about his music.
No, he's a really good composer.
Yeah.
I've listened
So
to both.
Thank
I
you.
think the way I consider his music, of course, it's good. Other people's film music also good, but I feel his music have something unique. It's different.
Yeah, I know he's very talented.
Very
Thank you.
talented,
He's very
and
talented.
just that unique. I think I really, really appreciate.
Annoyingly talented. So,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
that's a compliment.
yes.
Yeah.
So I would say without his music, and we don't have a chance to come here.
No, he does make a big difference.
Yes.
So is this your first narrative film that you've made? Is this your first non-documentary?
Yeah, this is first documentary.
No, after this one, your new film. Is
yes,
that your
feature.
first non-documentary?
Yes, yes,
Oh, so
yes.
that's a big leap. And what's the film about?
That film is about an American
Yeah.
to go to Chinese countryside to be a teacher.
Where did you film it?
That film took me 6 years.
Oh, okay.
So I basically started that feature. Then we encountered very difficult time.
So you filmed this years ago in China,
Yes.
but you've only just been able to
Stopped.
complete
Then
it.
I want to, but I can't. It's financial problem.
Yeah.
Then I stopped. Then I worked on more project, and then after
This
they
came on,
finished,
yeah.
then I could continue finish that film. 6 years later,
Are you happy with it? Is it complete now?
completed.
And are you happy with it?
Yes, in fact, I would like to send this to you to see how.
Send it.
Yes,
Send it. Yeah.
Yes.
Listen, that's brilliant. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
thank you.
again.
Again.
For your time.
Thank you
I'm so
very
sorry
much.
we ran a bit late.
That's
So,
all
Thank
right.
you.
but
Yeah.
as ever, it was wonderful to talk to you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
But hang on to him because he's going places.
He's very good. He's very good.
He's good.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.